We are
All
definitely 100% live on
definitely live.
YouTube.
Okay, so happy Saturday to all of our unstoppable internet friends. We are live today, and I'm so excited about the special show that we have planned for you. Today's topic is borrowed from a concept that I love, being a true 10Xer. I've got all my props today. Here's another one for you. I am
What's that?
100%.
The
We're
10x
talking
longbow.
about the 10X rule, okay? So the 10X rule is a book and it's a really popular concept, but even more than the book, the 10X rule is about the idea that any goal that you set, whatever goal it is that you set, you always want to have it be a goal that moves you to a better place. And in order to get there, you might want to dream 10 times bigger than you imagine, and then match that with 10x the effort. Okay. So we're not going to dream a little bit and do a little bit. We're going to dream big and we're going to do big and get further than we even imagined. So I am excited, Monique, here to introduce you today to my usual friend Simon, who's here with me every Saturday.
Oh, I'm blurred. My hand was
Yeah.
blurred. Hello.
And as a special treat, we have invited somebody who has recently done something so cool. So if I could just introduce everybody to Naomi. Naomi, go ahead.
Hi.
Hello, Naomi.
Hello.
We're so glad that you all are tuning in, whether you're tuning in with us live today or at some point in the future. And let me tell you, you are going to be so inspired by the great story that Naomi is here to share with us. So we're not going to stretch this out any longer. We're going to go ahead and get started. So, Naomi, let's just talk for a second about this amazing thing that you've been up to. But we're going to go back in history first, okay? So,
Okay.
can you just tell the listeners a little bit about what it is that you've been doing? Because apparently you had this amazing dream for a birthday fundraiser, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So, can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so for the past 4 years I've done this now. For my birthday, I would raise money for the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation. And the first time I did it was my mom told me I had $100 to spend on my birthday. And I decided to just give it to the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation. And then years, like as the years went by, I did increase it. So it was like the next year I did 300. And then the third year I wanted to do 500, but I wasn't able to get it. I only got $380. So this year I was going to do 500 again, but I was about to hit it. And then someone told me I should do a bigger goal.
Uh-huh.
So they told me to do 1,300.
That's
And so I
cool.
did it and I surpassed it by
That
a
is
little
so
bit.
exciting. Okay, so listen, you just let everybody know that this started with something simple.
Yeah.
Many years ago, 4 years ago to be exact, you had this desire to just give. Your mom gave you $100 for your birthday because she loved you, because you're a good girl, like who knows? And you decided you wanted to give all of that to a cause that you had cared about. You said it's the Healing Hands Foundation.
That's
The
incredible.
Terry Hands Foundation. Yeah.
So that in itself is amazing. But then you felt so good about that, that every year after that, you increased it. And
Mhm.
then I heard you say that come year three, you set a $500 goal, you were inspired and you didn't hit it.
No, I
Tell me
didn't.
just a little bit about what it was like that year when you didn't hit it and why you decided to go bigger the next year or do it again the next year.
So I was a little upset because I really, really wanted to do the 500 goal. I
Mm-hmm.
had painted a lot of paintings. I was covered in paint by the end of it. Um, and so my mom would do like little classes and I would sell my art there. And a lot of friends and family came along and like bought art. So that was really helpful. And then by the end of it, I didn't get the 500. I only got $380, but
Mm-hmm.
I was still happy that I was able to get enough, like big amount of money. So I gave that all to the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation. And then this year I wanted to retry for 500 because I was like, wasn't able to hit it, so let's hit it this year. But then this time, instead of doing art, I did bracelets, lots
Yeah.
and lots of bracelets. And you
I'm
even
happy
learned
to
one.
say that I've got a model of that great bracelet right here. Smells so good.
Yeah, so I did a lot of bracelets. I got supplies and I sat down and started making a lot of bracelets. My
Yeah.
hands hurt. But I started selling them, and by the time I had hit like $287,
Uh-huh.
I was invited to one of my mom's like educational classes because they were talking about the Hope Oil and the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation. And since I was doing something with that, they wanted me to come and like explain a little bit about it.
hmm
And whenever I was talking about it, it made them all cry that I was willing to like do this for my birthday and like want to actually share what I have with other people who aren't as fortunate as us.
hmm
And then they challenged me to do an even bigger goal, which
Yeah.
was $1,300 for it. So I took on the challenge.
How did that feel?
I was excited
How
and
did
nervous
that
at the
feel when they
same
said
time. I
put
was
it up
like,
to
oh man,
1,300 when you
Yeah, they
hadn't?
said go bigger. How did it feel?
go
Yeah.
bigger. I was like, okay. I went along with it. I was like, okay, we'll go bigger then.
That's not what I was expecting. I was expecting you to go, oh, it was so scary. Like I thought, oh, you were like, yeah, go
He's
for
like,
it.
okay, let's go.
I was
So
like,
hold on a second. Let's talk about what Healing Hands is, because maybe some of why you wanted to. You just said that the people were so emotional about you wanting to help people less fortunate than us, or even that you wanted to do this for your birthday. And I think we kind of have skipped this piece. So people understand what the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation does. Just tell us a little bit about that, because maybe it'll make sense then, why you even want to be raising money for this.
so the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation is a foundation that does a widespread of causes.
Uh-huh.
Some of them are like anti human trafficking, disaster relief, global health, supporting children, clean water and sanitation, because not a lot of places have access to clean water.
Mm-hmm.
And self-reliance for the people that so they can like what they have at their fingertips to show them how they can use it, and even like empowering women. That's like some of the main stuff that they focus on.
So powerful.
Yeah.
So like, I get it. I don't know how people listening are reacting, but it makes sense why you're like, look, my house is great. I've got toys, I've got food, I'm getting education. I want to use my birthday to help other people. And I've seen your post every year at your birthday on the internet. You are relentless. Like, maybe even behind you is one of the things that you've done. I've seen many posters that you've created over the years, but maybe you could tell us a little bit about what it is you've been doing to get attention for your cause when that time comes around every year. Like, maybe that poster has something to do with it, but what are you doing to let people know what you've got going on and get to your goal? Like, what does that process look like?
So at first I begin on figuring out how much I'm going to be raising and how I'm going to raise it. And then after I figure that out, I tell all my friends and family first. And then my mom helps me make a poster like this behind me. And
Mhm.
we go on to Instagram and Facebook and post about it, make a little reel, and just bring attention to it. So then also like my friends and family will also help by like they'll also like tag it and stuff. So it helps like bring a web out of where it is on people that will come along and help.
That is so fantastic. Like, you just taught a whole business lesson right there about, look, if you've got a goal, first you need to do the math. What are you trying to raise? Okay. Then you said, once I know how much money I'm trying to raise, then I decide how I'm going to raise it. And in one year, it's bracelets. This was last year. I think in the previous year, you said that you were doing art, you were painting paintings. One year, you just made a big donation because you had the money. That's what started it all that first year, right? So
Yep.
I love this. So Naomi, you've got such a great mind on you, right? Like you're looking at this challenge and you're saying, I got this big goal. I want to do something that makes a difference. Here's how I can help. But when you and I spoke to get ready for this meeting today, you told me that you've got something even bigger in your
Yes.
sights. And I think that maybe now would be a good time to go ahead and put the idea out there because I would love to see you do it.
So whenever I found out what doTERRA Healing Hands has been doing, they recently have started this thing called the match program, to where if you raise 10,000 or more, they will match it. So that's what I want to do. I want to be able to make an even bigger impact by doing an even bigger goal. So
I love it.
but for that you have to have a certain thing that you want to focus it on. And this year I want to focus it on like water wells and stuff, because I had to do something for school and we had to find a world problem. So I chose water scarcity. And with all that research, I got like really upset to see like not that many people have a lot of access to water.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to be doing this year for my goal.
Simon, I don't know about you, but I'm just amazed at this kid's heart, right? Like she is just, I mean, okay, so to be frank, the 10X coach in me is going crazy at the fact that she's almost exactly 10 timesing her previous success from 1,000 to $10,000. But take that out of it, she's like jumping feet first into this big cause. I mean, she said she had to do research for school, and it's not just research for school. Like, how many kids just do the stuff and get a grade in the grade book? And here she is, upset and trying to change it, trying to contribute, and as she said, make a bigger impact. I mean, what do you think about that? Do you have questions for Naomi? Because I might be flabbergasted at this point.
I am just completely and utterly inspired. I've so just on a personal perspective, I've got I'm running a marathon soon at the beginning of May. And actually it was a very personal thing for me. I just wanted a big goal. I just wanted to do something for my health that was going to be a big goal. But now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, maybe I should have, put a fundraiser together and actually be, doing something useful, because, the way in which you're talking about this, Naomi, in finding something that's actually close to your heart, that something that you care about. It's a it, it's a very powerful thing, and maybe I'd just like to ask you about that, about when you're actually doing this. Do you take a few breaths now and again? Because it sounds like you've been very busy, getting your bracelets together and planning how you're going to be selling and doing your promotion and setting your goals. But do you take a breath now and again and just connect with why you're actually doing this? Thinking about the charity that you're actually doing it for, and what good work they're actually going to be doing.
Yeah, the whole time actually. I think about why am I doing this, because it also helps me motivate myself, especially like whenever I'm feeling down. It'll help me get through what I have to do. So, um I think about why I'm doing it, especially like one point I was getting really close to my deadline and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. But then I thought about all the people that if I am able to do this, how much it will help them. So that would help me push myself to keep moving and to keep like um working at my goal until I finished it and crossed the
Wow.
finish.
Wow. Oh, I'm just so the words that you were using there in a couple of weeks ago, actually when Mo was off, She was at a 10x conference in Las Vegas, just being all crazy and bouncing off the walls with all the 10x guys. I talked a bit about what you were just explaining there, and you just explained it so well, and it was just such a beautiful example of when we're setting our goals, that if we have something that we care about, so this can be anything. We can be setting goals about a job that we want, a future that we want, your charity fundraiser that you want to do, what we want to be doing at the weekend. If we choose something that we care about, that gets us excited, maybe excited perhaps isn't exactly the right word in this case. You were talking about it being very motivational, that when you have a lot to do and you maybe don't have too much energy and you're thinking, oh gosh, how am I going to get through this? You get inspired. You think about, and these are more or less your exact words, what you were just saying before, and you think about all the people that you're going to be able to help, and that actually inspires you, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So with regards to, and I remember a dear mentor of ours talking about people running marathons, and he came up with an amazing statistic that actually the majority of people who actually finish marathons, if they're running a marathon for the first time, not knowing what to expect, the majority of people who actually finish the marathon are usually the people who are actually running and doing it for a particular charity or for a particular cause. And the people who tend to kind of, drop out at 10, 15, 20 miles or whatever, or, haven't quite got enough energy in them or motivation or inspiration and what you're talking about to get them through it. Those are the people who are just like me, kind of doing it for themselves, and don't have this bigger kind of inspirational, motivational driver that you were talking about. So, that was just so interesting listening to, you were so articulate there. You were just able to just say that so well, what we were talking about. And yeah, just with regards to the goal that you've got coming up, Mo's just like, yeah, it's 10x, and you're probably just like, yeah, okay, let's go for it. Um, and I'm not going to ask you again how you feel about it, because I kind of guess you're just like, yeah, all in. Um, but just a bit of a question about what changed and how you managed to shift from 300 dollars, up to $1,300, or 300 and something you did on the second or the third one. I can't remember. But yeah, just talk to us a little bit about, what you had, because it sounded like you kind of like changed tactics a bit. You first were doing your paintings, and then you decided to do the bracelets. Have you got some new tricks up your sleeve for this new one, of new things that you're going to try, or are you just going to make like a billion bracelets and go for it on the bracelets? Because obviously you're finding better ways of being able to get the money in.
Well, somewhat I noticed what people were interested in. Like I saw like what a lot of girls were wearing on their wrists and stuff. Like I noticed like I go to church on Wednesdays and I noticed a lot of them had like stacks of bracelets. So I was like, oh wait a second. Bracelets are a thing. And also a little bit earlier in the year, my mom was going to a conference, a doTERRA conference, and she wanted me to make her bracelets so she could have a reason to talk to people. So, so I was already starting to make bracelets for that and for her and my aunt. And so after that, I got the idea like I could do this like whenever she came back, I saw like all the bracelets gone. So I was like, oh, I could do this for my fundraiser. And the paintings, they did well too. Um, I'm thinking maybe this year I'm still trying to consider how I'm going to get the money.
So I want to jump in right here.
Well, in
Can I do this in just 1 second?
Go on,
I was
Bob.
leaning in when you asked her this question because there's such a great lesson in this. And it's really important. This is a 10X principle, okay? But it's a success principle, even bigger than that. Naomi doesn't know how she's going to get the $10,000 this year. She just knows she's committed to doing it. And that's the most important thing because the fact of the matter is she could get $10,000, 10,000 different ways. She's just decided she wants to make this impact. So she's picked a goal. And what I'm hearing her say is maybe it'll be bracelets, maybe it'll be a bracelet with the painting, maybe I don't know what it's going to be, but I know my target is $10,000 for the Healing Hands Foundation. I just had to 10X coaching moment, jump in there because we say all the time in the 10X world, commit first, figure the rest out later. And I mean, later is coming pretty early this year. Is this the earliest that you've ever started working on your target?
Yeah, this is, I've usually started in like November.
Uh-huh.
This would be like the earliest I've decided what I'm going to be doing and the earliest that I'm trying to figure it out and start it.
It sounds like you're becoming, because of these goals, Naomi, it sounds like you're becoming more of a go-getter and an action taker than you already are. And that it's making you bigger, better, stronger, braver. Like that is so awesome, right? We talk about being unstoppable every Saturday, and we say to the kids that are listening, like, you already are unstoppable. But I just love having you here because you're demonstrating and there's more unstoppableness after that. What you've already done is fantastic. And this next goal is even more fantastic. And that is just so wonderful. I want to ask a question of Simon because he knows a little bit of a secret. So would you be okay if we just pause right here for a second and invite Simon to share a little insight that might help some of the listeners in case they want to try out something? Maybe they've been inspired by the story you've shared so far. Would that be okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Simon, what if, because you were mentioning a mentor that we share, right? So what if you just give the listeners a little bit of insight into like what they could maybe do that would help them if they're feeling a little juiced up after hearing Naomi talk about this great work that she's on?
I'm not too sure what your question is, Mo. I'm sorry.
So tell them the recipe, like what happens with the goals? How can they identify something that they want to work on? And what would you say to them about that? Maybe there's something you could teach them that might help them try it out themselves so that then Monique could give them a great challenge because I want to see everybody else get on the juice that Naomi's got.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think we need to really talk about what Naomi has already pointed out with regards to just choosing an amazing goal, a 10X goal. So as we understand it, the reason why a lot of people don't actually achieve their goals are just because they're too boring. They just choose boring goals and they just kind of go about it in a bit of a half whatever way, and so they never actually manage to achieve what they put themselves out there to do because they'll probably just get distracted and end up scrolling on their phone or going out with their friends instead. And so in terms of setting goals, they've got to be they've got to be big goals, and in the way that you talk about it, if you set a big goal and you're heading for the moon, how's the saying go? If you miss
for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
Yeah, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. And so really, the the concept of setting the goals isn't really even about trying to hit that goal. It's about, and I think Mo was kind of touching on this before, it's about the person that you need to actually become in order to reach that goal. And in this, in the introduction that we had today, before we went live, Naomi was talking to us, and she mentioned a really cool thing, that she is a very creative person. People come to her for creative solutions and ideas. And this is what happens when we set big goals. Automatically, we then have to start becoming more creative. We have to start thinking about new ways in which we can go about doing things, and new strategies that we might be able to choose and go forward with, and a whole bunch of stuff where we start getting creative. So I'm not too sure if that answered any of your question.
I think
Mo,
that sounds perfect. I love what you said about sometimes people don't make it, I mean, we hear a lot of talk about success. And then if we're really honest, maybe some people would say when they're sitting by themselves that they don't feel like they're successful. And I love the suggestion that you're giving, that perhaps we're like underestimating what we're capable of. Maybe we're dreaming a little too small, and maybe the creativity that we think we don't have will come from putting our sights on something ridiculous, like, I don't know, earning so much money that your expenses don't matter and you can just go around helping people. I mean, I know people on this planet who that's what they do. That's exactly what they do. They like go out and fundraise and earn so much money that they can spend all of their time and their resources helping other people. And what a great thing. But whatever goal it is that a person has, I mean, on this show, we talk about sports, we talk about friendships, we talk about all kinds of things that we have going on in our lives. So, a person who, whatever it is that an individual wants to do, like, I just think, I love the sort of suggestion that maybe what gets in our way sometimes is we've got this boring idea and nobody wants to tell you it's boring, or maybe they didn't know that that's the problem because they have boring goals too. But Naomi's goal and the project that she's been doing, it's been getting more and more exciting every year. And man, I love the sound of the $10,000.
I think it's incredible.
Because that's like the bottom, right? I think what she's saying is that she set her sights on 10,000 because the company's going to match it. So it won't be 10,000. It'll be more than that, which is
20,000.
fantastic. Right. So you said something, Simon, about who you need to become. Who you need to become. And you don't know who you're going to become. I think, Naomi, did you have any idea when you started with that first $100 donation that 4 years later, you would be becoming the person who wants to earn $10,000 for the cause?
No, I just was like, no, I didn't really think about it. Really, I was like, we all need hope, especially children, because we can easily see problems and not know what's going to happen afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I just kind of wanted to give hope to the world, and especially like people my age and younger, sometimes even older. And to now think about like so many people live without water.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, water is life. We all need it. Even if it's like we all need water. And so it can be hard to think about people that live in the world without it because we all have access to water.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like whenever you think about like people don't have water, you're like, how? How did I not have water? Because you're like, I have water everywhere that I look. I can go into a bathroom, I can go into the kitchen, I can go really outside of my house and there's a hose. I have water. So why would I be stressed about someone else not having it?
Yeah, well, Naomi, you're something special because a lot of people don't think in that way. You know, it's been so great having you on the show today, and thank you so much for coming on along and sharing this. You know, it's been inspirational for me. I would imagine it has been for you, Mo, as well.
100%.
Yeah, 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 guys. So let's wrap up the show.
What do you think about me giving everybody a challenge before we wrap up? I think we're a
Oh
little bit
yeah, the
over our regular time,
challenge.
but we had a guest. Yeah, let me just do that because something that has come out of all of this that I think, as I'm listening to Naomi talk about a problem that she's seen in the world, we've said something like this before, but every single one of us, you, me, Naomi, we're all in different places. And everybody who's listening is in a different place. And if each of us just looks around where we are, we can see problems. Sometimes they're political, sometimes they're, about the economy, sometimes they are about, I don't know, all the things that are going on in the world that need to improve. But to be one of those people who sees a problem and says, you know what, I'm going to do something about it. This is what I want to challenge everybody with this week. Whether it is a problem that is for the benefit of other people, or to be fair, like Simon, there's absolutely nothing wrong about wanting to show up in the world and bring your most healthy self so that you can be a better contributor at work and at school and in your family. Whatever it is that you want to identify as a challenge, I am going to ask you to just jot it down. Maybe even draw a picture of a dream that you can see yourself accomplishing in the future. And here's Coach Mo. She's going to get all like exercise on you. Okay. So I want you to just do a little sketch of something that you envision. Okay. Now, this is going to get a little bit crazy. Maybe it won't make sense, but hang in here with me. Just draw out a little picture of something that you don't already have accomplished in your life that you want to do. And then I'm going to challenge you to imagine it 10 times bigger, 10 times richer, 10 times more than whatever you first imagined. And then I want you to embellish that picture. If you have to add 10 more things to it, or if it's like Naomi and your original target was $1,300, so you're going to 10x it to 13,000. Notice I just challenged her to go bold and get formally bigger. Maybe I'm not in charge. She'll have to decide that with her family. But 10 times that vision. And yes, it will take 10x the action to get there. But even more important than that, for this challenge, all I want you to do is look at that goal and decide what is one thing that I can do today that will help me get there. That might be make a list of tasks that I can do to accomplish the goal. That might be write a list of questions about things that I might want to learn that will help me. It might be brainstorming ideas. It might be thinking of people who can help you understand how to accomplish the goal. But all of us have it in our power to dream, number one. We all have it in our power to big that dream and make it 10 times more impactful, 10 times more fantastic. And we all have the ability right now to take some action to move toward that goal. And I bet you know what I'm going to ask you to do if you choose to participate. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to jump onto the inspiration station and tell us about your goal and tell us about the first action that you've taken to get there. We would love to hear updates as you get on the journey to accomplish something new. And I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Simon, or just wrap us up, but that is the challenge that I have for all of these unstoppable kids today.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Yeah, so be creative, guys. Be creative, think big. Just dig down into what we were thinking about before, into what Naomi just gave us a beautiful window into something that matters to you, a problem which you see, which you would like to solve, but which really, makes you feel like Naomi was describing before, that she feels inspired to actually do something about it. So yeah, listen, guys, it's just been absolutely fantastic having you on the show today, Naomi. Thank you so much. We believe in you 100%. That you can just knock it out of the park with this one. And like we said, it's all about Naomi. It's all about the kind of person that you're becoming, about the creative solutions that you're going to find, and the ways that I'm sure you're going to find your way into doing this. And we'd love to have you back on the show to come and tell us all about how how you got on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we're out of here. We've gone a bit over time this week, but it's been so great. Yeah, let's stay unstoppable.
And bold and brave. Bye, guys.